What's up, everybody? Back out here on the 75 Sporty again, trying to get this thing going. So I ended up getting a bunch more parts in for the rear back here. I've got my chain adjusters, all the bolts and everything that are needed for the disc. Got the 4-piston caliper. I've got an adjuster here with the mount that will go somewhere in here. Got my brake mount here. Got all kinds of spacers needed once I get everything figured out back here. Sprocket. I'm just trying to go through and see how this is all gonna work out here. Get this figured out so then we can come in with our fender, get our gap off the top of the tire, and then work our way down here. I guess we're going to start here and then come up and figure out how I'm going to merge these two fenders together. But I want to get this done back here, go ahead and put the front end back on it and get it set up so I can kind of figure out ride heights. I may end up having to take the original front shocks and cut them down. I haven't been able to find any shorter springs for this thing. I really like this thing to kind of sit where it's at. This is about 4 inches off the ground. And if I can keep that level like that, I think it'd be pretty cool looking. I'm not so much into having the front of the bike way up there. I don't know. I kind of like mine laid low. I don't know. Maybe I can figure this thing out and do it like it needs to be done. I've never been this far into a build before, but everything seems pretty cut and dry, simple. Just take your time and get it to look right. What's up? What's up, girl? What are you doing? Sprocket. Yep.
So what do you need help with?
Well, so at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and take all this back off and put the sprocket and the rotor on, get it attached to here, and then along with my brake mount here,
It is very weird.
We'll figure out what kind of spacers that we need to make sure that our chain is in proper alignment.
This is very wiggly, Daddy.
Yeah. So you want to help? So do you want to help do all this stuff for a minute?
Sure.
Sure? Okay. Can you pull this out?
Like that?
Yep, keep going.
Oh my God, this is very
Put it right
long.
there. Right there.
This is very long. Bro, this is the longest thing I ever seen.
Alright. So, now, I'm going to take this.
Yeah. Let me put it.
We'll put that on there like that.
Wait, how is it sticking? So now we need these, right?
Watch your fingers.
Oh, this, like around here, kind of smells like the hardware, right?
Mm-hmm.
So put these in here.
Yep.
How to the last
Okay.
one. Now those.
Now these go onto the back side. So you're going to want to pull this out a little bit. And hold it. And then spin this bolt on the outside.
Wait, like this?
See the round end? You want to have that on the outside like that. But you gotta put that bolt back through the hole.
First?
Mm-hmm.
How do I do this? Oh, I can't turn it.
Here, come over this side so you can see what you're doing. Come over here. See? Now, hold that nut over here.
I can't really reach.
Right here. You
I
gotta
can't
hold
reach.
right here.
Here, how about you do it? I can't. It's this too.
Alright.
So we're gonna turn this around after we're done.
Yeah, once you get that side done, we'll flip it around and do the other side.
No. Yay.
Okay. Let's start with this one.
This one?
This one right here. Oh, wait. Alright, now go.
This way?
Yeah, keep going. No, go this way. Yep.
Okay, got it. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I can't.
Can't do that?
No. It's too easy. I mean, it's too hard. You're too strong, Daddy. I'm less strong.
Here, try this.
But Daddy, look.
Yeah, getting big muscles. Alright, now try it again. Does that make it easier?
A little bit.
Alright, swing it down and go again. It's fine.
Is this too...
Go.
It's too hard already. I can't do it. I'm sorry, Daddy. I just
No,
can't.
it's fine. It's all good. Here. Go for it. Try it up here and then pull down. Alright, now go back up. Yeah, pull back down again. There you go. Go up. Up to here. Now pull down. See, that makes it easier to pull down, doesn't it?
Yep. Again? This keeps doing that. Here, let me do it. I cannot go all the way.
Good job. Alright.
Go loose this one. So easy. Actually, you know what? I like it helping you.
Mm-hmm.
Only on long days.
Yeah. This is fun though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all good.
So this one?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Someone's cutting stuff up. Keep going.
But it's still... Oh my god. I already know what it is.
Oh, what is it? You know what it is? What is it?
I don't know what it is, but I know...
It's a sprocket.
It's a sprocket?
Sprocket.
Sprocket?
Mm-hmm.
I know how it works. So you put the chain over in these pointy.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes what the tire goes.
Yep.
See, I told you.
You did. Alright, now hold this. Now hold that. Hold that.
This?
Yep. Now turn it.
Daddy?
I think that's what it is. You're good. Okay. This one right there?
Hold on. Yeah. I have to. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is easy. Oh, let's get into medium. This is definitely medium.
So now we get our brake rotor on here.
Ooh, that's a brake rotor?
Yeah, it's a brake rotor. So you want to do this the same way.
Bro, there's hundreds of those. I can't do that much.
There's only 5.
5?
Yeah, only 5, just like the other side.
Not these, no. But these,
No,
yes.
no, these are just slotted to.
These, yes.
Yeah, that's the ones we're doing.
Am I doing it correctly?
I think these are the wrong ones.
Really?
Yeah. So I either ordered the wrong rotor to hub screws, or I was sent the wrong ones, because I thought I ordered everything at least for close to a 2,000 year rear tire, and these are 81 to 84s, and the taper is pretty extreme, and as you can see, we don't fit, but it is snug, and this will at least keep us moving along to get all of our proper spacings and offsets for this thing. Yeah, so I think I'm getting this figured out. I got a multi-pack of all kinds of spacers here, and I'm finding out which ones to put where to get the proper offset, so we have good clearance and not get any kind of brake bindage going up. Now I still need to find out whichever one will fit down in here and push all the bearings in. I'm kind of just using this rod right here for now, just to kind of get an idea to where we need to sit. And that one's pretty flat against there versus what's up here. So it kind of just gets me in the ballpark area of where I might need to be. And this is the fun part of custom building a bike, for sure. And these 75 Sporties come out with, these things come out with a rear drum brake as well as a sprocket, kind of like a one-hole piece that sits on one side of the bike. The hardtail section here requires a 3/4 inch axle nut with a different sprocket, and then of course we're working in on getting a disc brake installed instead. Now I believe Lowbrow actually sells a bolt-on hardtail section that would accept the drum brake that would get bolted onto, I believe, here, and then you would just cut this out, and then it gets bolted onto these little pieces down here. But that would mean that this would come out like here, and then the hardtail section would dip off. So it would require a lot of fabricating part back here to make all that work. I just did not want to have a bolt on. I'd rather be all welded on. I'm gonna go ahead and get the front of this bike on and get it sitting where it needs to be.
I really like it. So you keeping the front tire?
Yeah, I'm about to throw a ratchet.
Or that tire? Oh no, that one's...
No, I think I want to keep the 19 up here, but I don't really want it to sit up high. So I just want to jack this thing down figure out ride height. Because Craig said he cut the front springs on this before.
Just line it up together and measure it.
Well, I'm trying to get the frame, I want the frame down.
Like that low.
But here's my problem. I need to have enough spring rate up here, and I'm starting to get it's starting to collapse a lot right now. You can open the door. Did you lock it? Well, that's your fault. You don't get in.
What's the magic password?
I said no.
Thank you, Bruce.
I just don't know how to. Cause I don't want it really all up. I think it'd look better laid low than it would way up high in the front.
You like how I have mine?
No, like all the old school choppers, man. They set them down like this, and then they'll put 8s or 10s or whatever size overs, and get that front end way the hell up. But
Your daughter's gonna be like,
well, it depends on how whatever seat I get or how it's made, or you know.
I still think a king and queen would be good on this.
I think so.
Or a well, no, because if he just went with the single spring seat, then she can't really ride it.
All right, so got the front wheel sit in place. I wanted to strap it down because I wanted to get it down and have the attitude that I'm looking for. The back is about 4 inches off the ground, and the front is about 4.5. And this allows me to have so I've been trying to figure out how much room I actually have up here in the front, about 2 1/4, which that should be enough room to have suspension travel. So that's gonna allow me to cut these springs a lot. But I really like how it's sitting down like that. We'll just go ahead and mark up all this here, just to see just how much this will all lift up, and maybe that'll help me determine how much spring needs to come out of this thing. All right, so we got it unstrapped, and what we have here, it's a 3-inch difference. So I'm gonna bring the front down 3 inches, because at this point we're now about 6.5 inches off the front. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I like them low. Oh, we're gonna have to figure out how to get that done, or figure out with that how much spring we actually need to cut to pull that down. And I believe we'll have about 2 inches of travel here before it bottoms out. Oh, never mind. We'll have a little bit more than 2 inches of travel. At least it'll give some cushion if it does ever bottom out here. You ready to go ride, Dakota?
Only when it's finished, Dad.
Oh, what?
Only when it's finished, Dad.
You don't want to go ride unless it's finished?
Yeah.
You want to go ride before it's finished?
No.
No. Come on.
We can push you down the hill.
Yeah. You could be on it by yourself while we push you around.
No, how about, Bruce, you push yourself and you push him.
What?
That would look totally wrong.
That would look so weird.
Yeah.
Big smiles, Crash.
Are you the big pusher or the giver?
I will be the pusher.
No, how about
So now that I got this in here. This allowed me to lift up the back of the bike and help figure out more what kind of spacers I need between everything. Because I got to get a spacer in here all the way up against the bearings inside. If I ended up getting the wrong brake set up for this thing, then that gives me enough time to get the right proper brakes. But I guess now I can go ahead and start getting this fender figured out, because at least we're going to follow the same shape of the bike, and it's not going to matter where it's at because I got different size bungs to get welded onto the fender. So we'll get this going here in just a little while. Well, I got some bad news about the Purple Nurple. Was out ripping around, having some fun with it, you know what I mean? And yeah, I've got oil coming out of the rear exhaust. I don't know if I had spun some rings in it and all the gaps are now lined up. I kind of doubt it. That's hopeful thinking though. I don't know. It doesn't smoke. It's just a lot of oil that's caked on the inside of the rear pipe. So I don't know if I've got some. It's just a hair noisy on the valve train. I don't know if I've got some valve stem damage or the valve guides, if they're leaking valve seals. I don't know yet. Taking this in on, I don't know, what, about a week. I'm gonna take it into a shop and let them really look it over and repair the top end. Now this winter, I'll probably go ahead and finish off the build. For all those that are kind of new to the channel here, this is a twin cam 88. I'll say was a twin cam 88. Ended up putting a 4-inch big bore kit into it. 585 cams, put the 585 valve springs as well as the guides and seats and everything else in here. And I really should have, to do it proper, I probably should have had the ported heads put on here and a bigger throttle body, bigger injectors and everything else. I'd probably be looking at around 120 horsepower to the wheels on this bike. It is a fun bike. It's very responsive. It's very twitchy. But I enjoy the hell out of it. That is kind of the thing about going with big builds on your bikes, big cams and stuff like that. It is very hard on a valve train. I knew that, I knew that in the beginning. I wanted a fun bike. I wanted something I can play around with and really enjoy. This thing does good on long cruises. The only downfall is driving around in the city. You have to have the RPMs up quite a bit to not let it lug and jerk around everywhere you go. Other than that, I've got nothing but good things to say about this thing. We're gonna enjoy it. Now, I probably finished this bike a little over a year ago, and I just went through and finally put in all the new oils and everything else. Kind of checked over everything that I could. I just been going through and making sure all the nuts, bolts, and everything are still tight on here. And that's when I found the oil caked exhaust. I don't know. It is what it is. Oh well. It's just the way it goes. This one's going to be down for a month. That's going to hurt a lot of the ride videos I like to do. Just going to prolong another one, I don't know, a month and a half. I'm not sure. Hopefully it's not going to take that long. This is about as soon as I can get this bike in to look at it. I really don't want to touch the engine. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm fine tinkering around on these other ones, but the way this one is, yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to have someone that's got years and years of experience doing that. So, I don't know. I'll keep you guys updated on how this one goes. So, back to the 75. Gonna try to get the two fenders made into one. There is just a tiny bit of difference. from what I see here, it's pretty close to matching. The purple one, which is the original Fender, is just a tiny bit longer. It's just a tiny bit wider. So what I've done is I've got 1-inch foam and I've got 2 rows of this side by side on the top of the tire. Kind of get my height. The reason I have it so high is because I'm trying to find a tail light that I can actually either recess in here or cut a slit in the metal and have a recessed light up against the fender itself. I really don't want a big bulge of a light sticking out here or up here or even on the sissy bar. I just been kind of playing around looking at this thing, trying to find a nice little circular pattern that I can come down to where I can keep this here and into the ducktail and make some kind of tail dragger fender out of these two things. And I don't know, once I get this cut up here, maybe I can get the fender to sit down a little bit lower, because this has got that recess area that's not allowing it to come all the way down. And whatever this height is here, once it sets down, I'm going to continue this line, which should be just about at this point here. So I'm going to continue that down to where I can trim it off here. That's the idea. Is it going to work? I don't know. But that's the kind of the fun part of building your own bikes and making the creation that you have in your mind, which is how I got this one. Yeah, I had a buddy that had a, what is it? He had a 2001 or 2002 Springer Softail, and gorgeous bike. I mean, gorgeous bike. High in the front, big wheel, low in the back, stretch bags, just a nasty little machine. And man, I don't know, Seth. I've always loved your bike, dude, and I wanted to have something similar to it, but again, with my own flair to it. That's kind of what you do whenever you do these. You have something in your head you want, and you work towards making that happen. Like I said before, I really just don't want the same bikes everybody else has got out there on the roads. Gotta have something that kind of stands apart. And the more and more that I do this, I really find myself liking these older bikes, man. Yeah, the parts might be harder to find or harder to come by, where some of them might be more expensive to get. But man, they are so much simpler of a bike. When you can take all this apart, you know, you've seen what this bike looked like whenever I first got it, compared to the minimal parts and stuff that you actually need on here anymore. Really cleans them up a lot. I really like that. I like to have a shovel head if I could. I almost had one at one point in time. Pretty cheap, like $1,500, but I always thought it would just be a basket case. It was a 82 FX RS. Really nice looking bike, but it was just in 1,000 pieces. The guy, it ate a lifter, and he had it all strewn across his living room, parts everywhere. And I kind of was a little bit afraid of that, being that I'd had to find a bunch of parts or a bunch of pieces for it, how expensive that could get, or how long it would take me to find all the proper pieces for this thing, especially not being able to take it apart myself. Not sure how it would all go back together, because I would have probably kept that as an original bike. Let's see what we can do here. I don't know. Hopefully we make something good. What is this? I think this is the Manta Fender from Lowbrow. And I got it because it's the one that matches closely to what I'm trying to do here with my original Fender. And that measures 6.01 at the widest spot. It measures a lot more. So on the inside of on the inside of the fender, we are 6 7/8, but it tapers. This fender right here is 6.5 inches at the point where we're going to cut it here, and so I'm hoping that we could taper the fender from the original 6 inches up to the 6.5 and leave it long or leave it wide. I may end up just finding center here and taking out a chunk to make this exactly 6 inches wide, so we match up with our other fender. This is kind of what I've done here. I've laid out this 2 1-inch tubes, so I'll make sure that we have plenty of gap, because if I run this tail light in the back, I want to have a channel on the inside to where I can run my tail light wire in there and keep it protected from the tire itself. Now I do know from experience, setting down a fender on a tire, getting it too close, and then you'd be surprised about 100 miles or more how tall them tires actually will swell up. So I'm gonna try to avoid that on this one. Because I had all this fender done, and you can, I don't know if you can see this. Oh, yeah, there's a spot right here, and these spots here where the tire was rubbing up against here. I don't know, I think I was anywhere from like 3/8 to I think I was probably around 3/8 of an inch from the top of the tire. That may have been too short of a distance. Trial and error, it's not gonna matter. I don't mind pulling the fender off and repaint it anyway. I wouldn't mind go ahead and throw some more scallops, or throw some scallops on the front to kind of match in with the bags, to have this thing blend in a lot more from front to rear. I didn't really want to put too much on the tank here, other than my ghosted dragons that I got over here. So I don't know, figure something else out with this later. Of course, you guys are going to see that anyway when that happens. But anywho's, I could go, this is 5/8, I could go 5/8 and do something differently with the light if I want to put the light on the back of the sissy bar or something, but I'm just not so sure about the light high or low on the sissy bar. I don't know, me personally, I just like to see them clean. This one's not going to be so clean that I'm going to do anyway, because my daughter rides with me everywhere I go. Usually if I'm on the bike, she's with me. So whatever I do, it's going to have these adjustable armrests, or the foldable armrest for her. Of course, I made the bracket here, and that fits. Yeah, she's a little girl, but that fits her, and then I can extend these out as she grows. And of course, foot pegs high up on the bike, because in our state, as long as they can reach the foot pegs, they're good. So I'm going to throw this other fender back on here and kind of see how far down this thing lands, and I'll know more on where exactly I want to cut this here to match in. I don't know, I kind of like how that sits on here. Plenty of room all the way through here. Tire size seems to be pretty good. Maybe about a finger's gap in between here. Of course, these two things will never want to meet up anyway. Now the front of the fender here will never be any further down than what the frame is on this one, because I'm trying to get it down as low as I can. I do not want that to hit on anything and fuck up the fender. That should work pretty well. We'll go ahead and chop this one down. But we'll go ahead and chop this one down Ooh, forgot that this was here. I was gonna go here, but that's gonna leave all this here. I wonder if I could go ahead and leave it here and cut this out and then cut out the same pattern on here to give me more area to weld for better strength to hold the two together, rather than just having a straight line cut and just let that be the only thing holding these two pieces together. I don't know. Let's just go little by little and go from there. All right, so got them both all put together. I've got a flat spot here, so I'm wondering if that's not allowing this to sit down, but I can see that there's a little bit of difference in the curvature on the top of the fender. I'm not so concerned with that. We might be able to work that down a little bit, or when I cut this out, might be able to bring this up some, because once all this gets finished out, I'll have some short strand fiberglass. I can kind of reshape that as needed. I don't think it's gonna be too thick to worry about, but as you can see with the thickness of our fender here, this line looks pretty good. It comes to the hole, you see the fender there, and I think that should look all right. I think. I don't know. Kind of like that. Who knows? I might have a hole right here already for a tail light. If I can find one that would go up here nice and flush. So that'll work out. These here, I'll just have to fill them in. Not a big deal. I've done that before. I cut off the rivets out of here and welded everything up. So I like how it's all nice and smooth. You don't see nothing on the side of the fender. So we can do the same here. Kind of my process is just sit and look, sit and think, run different ideas through my head, maybe draw something out on the fender, try to get some kind of shape in here. Now once I go ahead and, if I decide to go ahead and do this, I'll take this fender here and lay it over the top here, and then go ahead and draw out the pattern so at least our curve is the same curve all the way around on both sides. I just got to figure out how I really want to merge these two together. Now, I might just leave this here, because that would be a good point to have the seat sit flat on the fender. Because if we take our sissy bar and run our sissy bar like so, that'd come up right to the back of that. And I've got, this is the end of the silver fender, so I've got this much room to do something with if I really want to cut this out and do something different. I don't know. I'm gonna sit here and think, and mess around with this for a little bit longer, and just come up with a game plan how I even want to attempt to do this. Trial and error. All right, so after many hours of just sitting here looking at it, staring at it, playing with it, trying to get different ideas on what to do with the rear fender and where to actually place it, I think I got it figured out. I've already kind of cut some things up just to kind of get it, make sure everything's going to fit right and proper. So this is what we got. So I've notched the original fender out like so, and then I'm thinking that this is going to allow me to have greater strength when I weld these two pieces together. Now once I do that, I'll come in and I'll cut this line here all the way down to where we're about 4.5, maybe 5 inches off the back here. and that'll tuck it in, and that'll keep the fender about the same thickness all the way back till we get down to where our ducktail is. And I'll be able to install like a flat bezel LED light or something right back here, and then probably run a small channel up the center on the inside to hide the wires. So I'm going to pull this thing off here, and I've already marked my line. I'm going to cut the silver fender to get notched inside of here. Then I might be able to tack them in and figure out how far down I need to take this before I cut the sides. Then I'll take this fender, lay it on top of here to keep that same radius going. I don't know, never done this much before. I don't know if I'm doing it right, doing it wrong. Maybe one of y'all will probably definitely tell me I'm fucking up, but I don't care. It'll be done one way or the other. That definitely works out better than I originally thought it was going to, because this purple fender is actually wider than the silver fender. So by doing it this way, it allowed me to bring the sides of this in to where they match up. Curves match up pretty well. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. So I guess at this point, I'll go ahead and mark up the sides. Well, that's really close right there. So I want to probably do the first side over here, and then take this piece, and then take this piece here and flip it over to the other side and use it as a template just to get a really close scribe for the cut on the other side. Because I want to make sure I'm following the same gap all the way down to where I start pulling my flare off the back of this fender here. And then we can figure out a way to make sure that these are perfectly in line when I go to tack them all in. So I think I'm just going to take a little bit more material off of this edge here, just a tiny little bit. But I got the basic idea of what I'm doing for a fender. I was actually pretty nervous about this in the beginning. Like I wasn't exactly sure how this would work out, or if it could even be done properly. I don't have the experience doing this really. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do the other side here and get that done. Well, I must say that came together pretty well. Almost have it too long to get off and on the bike with the tire on there. What do you guys think? I went in ahead and stitch welded everything in for now. Gotta clean these up and then grind it down flush. Do the back side, same thing, grind it down, make it all flush, and then come in with some fill and just smooth it all out. Now I really wasn't sure how this was even going to turn out. I just had in my head that I wanted a tail dragger style fender on this thing, and I just need to come in and probably clean up a little bit of sides here. You know, they don't exactly match, but you know, that's good for now. So at this point I will need to pull the fender down just a little bit more and get it to where this will not stick any lower than the frame itself. I really hate to catch the bottom of this fender and buckle it, bend it, break it, whatever. So we'll get the bones welded onto here, and that way this can get screwed into the bungs and we'll be able to slide as the tire moves back and forth when tightening up the chain itself. Same thing here. I'll probably have to have them out and put a couple more bunks here. Now that I got this done, I'll be able to get the CC bar going and come up here and then put a couple more bungs on each side here to mount to the CC bar. And I'm not sure how this is gonna, you know, I don't know if it's gonna want to wobble anymore or not. I may have to come with something across here. I don't know. I really don't want to have to do that. We'll just have to see how this moves and shakes. It's kind of cool to see how this thing is really coming together now. Really cool. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. That's it. That's going to be all for this one. Next video, we'll probably go ahead and start working on the chain CC bar. Again, I don't know. The only way to know is to get out and try it. Thanks for tuning in. Check you later.